Welcome to Global News on Signature TV. I'm Charles Pius. In the headlines, President Bola Tinubu charges armed forces to engage the nation's adversaries with gallantry. Central Bank of Nigeria partners with microfinance banks to promote financial inclusion. Republican candidate Donald Trump holds rally in Wisconsin. Malaysian Foreign Minister promotes peaceful coexistence in South China Sea. Details shortly. President Bola Tinubu has charged the armed forces to engage the nation's adversaries with more military gallantry and sophistication, saying Nigeria must maintain its status as a giant of Africa. Tinubu gave this charge on Saturday in Kaduna at the combined passing out parade of the 71 regular corps, Army, Navy, and Air Force. The graduates include the Direct Short Service Course 28 Army and the Direct Short Service Course 32 Air Force cadets of the Nigerian Defense Academy. About 823 officers were commissioned into the nation's armed forces. Tinubu, represented by the Speaker, House of Representatives, Dr. Tajuddin Abbas, charged the members of the armed forces to remain focused in their operations, emphasizing that elite militaries maintain professional in democratic dispensations. According to Tinubu, this is with the belief that the individuals charged with the nation's leadership will do their job. Speaking further, Tinubu lamented that Nigeria as a country was faced with multiple challenges that have attempted to destroy the nationhood. He said the economic challenges and deterioration in the standard of living, as well as unemployment and insecurity, topped the list of problems that were besieging the nation. Tinubu assured that more than ever before, his administration was determined to do all it takes to ensure that Nigeria is united, secure, and repositioned for development. He therefore directed the leadership of the Nigerian Armed Forces to work out a robust policy proposal to the government. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says it is partnering with microfinance banks, MFBs, to enhance financial inclusion to stimulate growth of micro, small, and medium enterprises, SMMEs, in the country. Sa Nyashi, CBN controller, Yola branch, said this at the inauguration of Daptikiri Microfinance Bank Limited in Hong, headquarters of the Hong local government area of Adamawa. Nyashi, represented by Adamu Yusuf, head Currency Management Office, CBN, said such partnership was also imperative towards ensuring effective implementation of the Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme. He urged people to take advantage of the opportunities to improve their businesses. Also speaking, Dr. Asongo Abraham described MFBs as beacon of hope for community development and nation building. According to him, microfinance provides access to capital critical for small businesses to thrive, create employment opportunities, and improve living standards. Abraham advised the management of the bank to embrace application of technology in its operations and build trusts with customers for successful businesses. Professor Ben Baha, Provost College of Education, Hong, advised the people to open accounts with the bank for social and economic development at the grassroots. The aim of establishing the bank is to promote rural development through provision of finance and banking services to the host communities, he says. The Speaker at Adamawa House of Assembly, Mr. Bathia Wesley, pledged support to the MFBs to enable it to contribute towards improving social and economic well-being of the people. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has said there is over 194% increase this year in Mpox outbreak compared to the same time in 2023. From January 2024 till September, a total of 32,407 cases of Mpox has been reported, while 6,441 were confirmed with 840 deaths. The Central Bank, or the Central African region, accounts for 90% of all cases reported. The Africa CDC noted that the cases of Mpox are steadily increasing across all affected countries, with gaps and challenges in surveillance and contact tracing. The Vice President of Global Programs at the Village Reach, Dr. Barnett Ndianaba, highlighted some of the steps that African nations could take to boost resilience in their health systems. In the face of the current mpox outbreak, he said it was important to have in place health systems that respond to the needs and preferences of underreached communities. According to him, strong, resilient health systems can adapt to shocks, emergencies, and reach hard to reach communities. Dr. Abdul Goye, Regional Emergency Director of World Health Organization Africa Region, WHO AFRO, has had earlier shared WHO's field efforts since the declaration of the mpox outbreak. According to him, the WHO has been working effectively and collaborating with all entities to stem the public health emergency. He also emphasized the importance of early detection, robust health systems, and community engagements. United Nations Children's Fund is targeting vaccinating to no fewer than 5 million children for against measles and other child killer diseases in the Southwest and Edo states. UNICEF expert Aderonke Akinola Adewole urged parents to present their children for vaccination during the week-long 2024 integrated supplemental immunization activities. The immunization activity is to be undertaken by UNICEF in collaboration with the governments of Ekiti, Oyo, Ondo, Osun, Ogun, and Edo states. Akinola Adewole spoke at a one-day zonal media orientation on the human papilloma virus polio supplemental immunization integrated activity organized by the Oyo State Ministry of Information in collaboration with UNICEF for relevant government, health officials, and media practitioners. The expert who said immunization would eradicate diseases like polio, measles, yellow fever, and HPV, among others, dismissed the myths and misconceptions, stopping some parents from presenting their children for vaccination. She called on the media to assist with sensitization on the safety and reliability of vaccines, saying that vaccination for children are lifesavers and part of their rights. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Soro has held a free education and medical outreach for residents of Dibu in southern Ijaw local government area of Bayelsa. The commander, Commodore Nama Lakan, told newsmen during the exercise on Saturday in Dibu that the outreach was a way of promoting cooperation with host communities. Lakan further that the education and medical outreach was part of the Navy's corporate social responsibility to the civil populace. He said the exercise was in line with the Navy's broad mandate, which extended beyond safeguarding the nation's territorial waters and national assets. The commander said that the exercise aligned with the vision and strategic directive of the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala. He said the Dibu community was chosen for the outreach because of its history of producing leaders who had served the nation in various capacities. Lakan thanks the community for the warm reception and cooperation accorded the members of the outreach team. He reiterated the commitment of the Navy to strengthen those close ties between it and the people of Southern Ijaw. The federal government has announced plans to establish a model veterinary hospital in Borno to address the immediate needs of livestock farmers and accelerate productivity. The project could be implemented under the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES. Dr. Chinyere Akujobi, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Livestock Development, said this in a statement on Saturday in Abuja. Akujobi said that the facility will provide veterinary care, serve as an emergency operations center, offer training opportunities, and support private veterinary practices. According to her, the initiative is aimed at enhancing the resilience of the livestock sector and ensure the well-being of animals. Akujobi said the initiative was a follow-up to recent visits to Maiduguri by the ministry as directed by President Bola Tinubu to undertake an on-the-spot assessment of the impact of the disaster on the livestock subsector in the state. Akujobi said that the ministry has commenced discussions with the African Development Bank, AFDB, to support livestock sector's recovery process in Borno. The federal government has trained 30 logistics managers on nutrition commodity management in Katsina State. The Director of Nutrition, Federal Ministry of Health, Ladidi Bako, at the inauguration of the exercise on Saturday in Katsina said the two-day training exercise is being organized in collaboration with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, and an international organization, Nutrition International, NI. Represented by Ayo Jose, Assistant Chief Scientist Officer in the ministry, Bako said The exercise aimed to onboard the nutrition commodity in the Nigerian Health Logistic Management Information System introduced by the federal government. She said that it would also raise the pool of nutrition logistics managers across the country in the use of the NHLMIs for accountability of nutrition commodities. This, she said, would support the states on how to impute data on the HLMNIs, relate with the federal government and partners on how they utilize the commodity. Still to come, police in Katsina State assures protesters of safety. Enugu's government begins CNG transition, creates Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Global News on Signature Television. The Katsina State Police Command has assured that it has implemented measures to ensure the planned nationwide Fearless October 1st protest does not descend into chaos. This follows concerns raised due to previous violent protests, including the recent nationwide demonstrations against bad governance, which resulted in the loss of lives of property worth billions of naira. The police public relations officer, ASP Babubakar Sadiq, said that the command has mobilized both human and intelligence resources to guarantee safety before, during, and after the protest, and urged protesters to exercise their rights responsibly and within the framework of the law. Meanwhile, the Enugu state government has begun the process of transitioning from the premium motor spirit PMS to the compressed natural gas CNG to reduce cost of transportation for commuters. The Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Obi Ozo, made this known while briefing journalists on the outcome of the State Executive Council meeting in Enugu on Friday. He explained that the CNG saved about half of the cost of fueling and transportation, as well as helping the operators within the transport sector and reduces the cost of transportation. He disclosed that the government was going to invest more in buying buses and also supporting the private sector to invest in the transport space in the state. He, however, urged those interested in the conversion of their vehicles from petrol to CNG to come to the Ministry of Transport to be registered, stressing that they would work with the Federal Ministry of Transport to get the CNG kits. Also speaking, the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Chidiebere Onya, announced that the state government has created a new Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources to regulate investments in the sector. Onya said Governor Peter Amba had earlier signed the Enugu State Electricity Law and that the law required an independent regulator to be set up. This, he said, needed a supervisory ministry that would handle all engagements in the energy space and in the mineral resources, considering the level of mineral resources available in Enugu State. Anambra State is on the verge of making history as the electorates came out to elect local government chairmen and councillors in the 21 council areas of the state. Correspondent Undo Obaleze reports that this is the first local government elections in Anambra State in the last 10 years. Meanwhile, the Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has expressed satisfaction with the local government elections. Soludo, who arrived at his polling unit 002 at Ofuyi Square, Umweze, at Isiofa Ward 13 in Agwata local government area, cast his votes at about 11:45 a.m. Signature TV had reported that the local government polls recorded low voter turnout in some area, including the busy city of Onitsha. Godfrey Okoye University, Enugu, has donated approximately 6,000 square meters of land at its Uwomu campus to the DNA Learning Center, Nigeria, for the development of the DNALC Nigeria Sciences City. The facility is set to house the Centers for DNA Forensics and Criminal Investigation, Training and Advanced Studies, Research and Innovation, Visual Media and Computation, as well as a startup innovation hub. The project is being executed in collaboration with the Enugu State Government, Godfrey Okoye University, and the DNA Learning Center, New York. The Vice Chancellor of Godfrey Okoye University, Enugu, Professor Christian Anyeke, performed the official site handover for the Science City to DNALC Nigeria Administration and the construction team. He described the facility as a groundbreaking legacy project for the University Enugu State and the entire African continent, highlighting its long-term impact on society. In a speech, the Deputy Director of DNLAC Nigeria and the project coordinator Michael Okoro said the 6 key sections of the Science City include DNA Center for Forensic and Criminal Investigation, Center for Training and Advanced Studies, Center for Research and Innovation, Center for Startups and STEM Innovation, Center for Visual Science Communications, and the Media Biology and Center for Public Health Intervention, focusing on pathogenic viruses and diagnostics. Okoro emphasized that the project would be completed in 7 phases, stressing that the first 2 phases have been concluded, with the third phase scheduled to commence in October 2024. According to the Deputy Director of his center, full installation of the facilities is expected by April 2025, with the center slated for commissioning in June 2025. The director of the center, Professor George Ude, in a remark, reiterated that he would commit at this time, as well as the wealth of experience, to ensure that the Science City fulfill its mandates and goals. The Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF, said a notorious Boko Haram terrorist, Bochu Abacha, has surrendered to troops deployed in Kukawa local government area of Borno State. The Chief Military Information Officer of the task force, Lieutenant Colonel Olaniyi Osaba, disclosed this in a statement in Maiduguri on Saturday. Osaba said that Abacha, a key figure in several terrorist organizations or operations, admitted to participating in multiple operations along the Mongunu-Baga axis. He said that Abacha attributed his surrender to the intense operations of the MNJTF and his dwindling interest in the cause. Osaba said that on surrender, Abacha handed over 1 AK-47 rifle, a magazine loaded with 7 rounds or 11 rounds of 7.62 millimeter ammunition, a mobile phone, an Airtel SIM card, and 32,500 naira. He explained that the suspect was currently providing a valuable intelligence to the authorities. In a separate operation, MNJTF troops, in conjunction with the intelligence operatives, ambushed Boko Haram terrorists conveying large logistic supplies in 3 Toyota vehicles under the cover of darkness. According to him, the troops engaged their terrorists in a fierce gun battle, killing one and forcing others to flee, abandoning their supplies. Meanwhile, a federal high court in Abuja hearing a lawsuit seeking to compel the federal government to investigate allegations linking the Minister of State for Defense, Alhaji Bello Matawalle, to banditry in Zamfara State. The suit, brought by human rights activist Abubakar Dahiru, aims to probe Matawale's alleged involvement in the operations of bandits during his tenure as governor. The suit marked FHC ABJ CS 143-4-2024, lists President Bola Tinubu, the Attorney General of the Federation, and Inspector General of Police IGP as the first, second, and third defendants, respectively. Dahiru, represented by his lawyer Ojonimi Ape, is asking the court to declare that President Tinubu must direct the IGP to investigate the activities of bandits and kidnappers in Zamfara State, with a specific focus on allegations surrounding Metawale's role in the crisis. The plaintiff claims that during Metawale's time as governor from 2019 to 2023, armed banditry escalated to unprecedented levels, leaving thousands of citizens in Zamfara state displaced due to the violence. Dahiru pointed to interviews and articles accusing Metawale of supporting banditry, including claims that he provided vehicles to bandits, sabotaged law enforcement efforts, and granted amnesty to terrorists. Dahiru contended that despite these serious allegations, the government has made no attempt to investigate Matawale while banditry continues to plague Zamfara state. The Veterinary Council of Nigeria, VCN, has urged the federal and state governments to implement policies sanctioning owners of unvaccinated dogs. The acting registrar, VCN, Dr. Oladotun Fadipe, made the call in commemoration of the 2024 World Rabies Day on Saturday in Abuja. Fadipe, who frowned at the prevalence of rabies in the country, mostly in rural areas, identified children as accounting for 40% of the victims. He, however, blamed challenges in rabies prevention and eradication of funding and non-implementation of existing policies. He further identified funding as key in ensuring that extant policies were well implemented. The registrar identified rabies as 100% preventable and curable, adding that all hands must be on deck across all sectors to achieve its eradication by 2030. Still to come, Israel strikes Lebanon's Qiyam village. Hezbollah chief Nasrallah confirmed dead, but as Israel strikes intensify. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Global News on Signature Television. On the foreign scene, Donald Trump attacked his Democratic opponent Kamala Harris at a rally in the critical swing state of Wisconsin, telling his supporters that she was born mentally impaired. The former president and Republican nominee in the 2024 race made the comments at a rally in the town of Prairie du Chien. Harris and Trump are in a tight race in the key states of Michigan and Wisconsin, according to an opinion poll by the New York Times and Siena College. The poll found that Harris received 48% support among likely voters in Michigan, with Trump garnering 47%, while in Wisconsin, Harris holds 49% support to Trump's 47%. The polls are within the margin of error. The polls also that Harris had a lead of 9 percentage points over Trump in Nebraska, a second congressional district whose lone electoral votes could be decisive in the Electoral College. Malaysia's foreign minister embraced a conciliatory tone on the South China Sea while addressing the United Nations General Assembly Saturday. China claims almost the entire South China Sea, including the atoll coveted for its bountiful fish stocks and stunning Takwa Lagoon, despite overlapping claims in the busy waterway by Brunei, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Hassan, in his address, spoke of the conflict in the Middle East, in which he failure to bring about a ceasefire and the United Nations Security Council not being able to reach agreement on the issue. Apparently, do you really have to abuse people to get your opinion across? Do you really have to make somebody else look bad in order to put your opinion across? Really? Because when you start doing that, if I were on the other side, I would start seeing you as insecure because I believe that people who do such things don't really have a lot to give, and that's why they're using that as a decoy, not focusing on themselves and what they can do and give you their best, but telling you what others basically cannot do. It's more like criticizing somebody for something that you cannot even do. I say this because of the examples that's happened between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I don't see why you would abuse someone and tell them, talk to them with a way and manner that is so bad and so wrong in order for people to be convinced that you are the better person and then they vote for you. It doesn't add up. It's easy to check whether what you're telling me is true or is false. So if I find out what you're telling me is false about this person, then the joke is on you. At least that's what I think. Israel has targeted the southern Lebanese border town of Kiam, the southeast of Beirut, where a large explosion caused major damage to a building as Israel continued to strike parts of Lebanon, including the capital. The Israeli army said the operation to dismantle Hezbollah's infrastructure and capabilities was still ongoing. The Iran-backed Hezbollah group confirmed that their leader, Saeed Hassan Nasrallah, has been killed after the Israeli military said it had eliminated him in an airstrike in Beirut the day before. Hezbollah said in a statement it would continue its battle against Israel in support of Gaza and Palestine and in defense of Lebanon and its steadfast and honorable people. The Israeli military posted on social media website X on Saturday saying Hezbollah leader Saeed Hassan Nasrallah would no longer be able to terrorize the world. Israel said earlier in the day that it had killed Nasrallah in an airstrike in Beirut's southern suburbs on Friday. Later on Saturday, the Iran-backed group confirmed his death, which marks a devastating blow to Hezbollah as it reels from an intense campaign of Israeli attacks. In his final speech, which took place on September 19th, Hezbollah leader Saeed Hassan Nasrallah denounced the deadly Israeli attacks that blew up radios and pages across Lebanon, describing it as a potential declaration of war. Similarly, Israelis expressed joy and relief on Saturday after learning of Hezbollah leader Saeed Hassan Nasrallah's death. The Iran-backed group confirmed Nasrallah had been killed on Saturday, a few hours after the Israeli military said it had eliminated him in an airstrike in Beirut the day before. His death marks a devastating blow to Hezbollah as it reels from an escalating campaign of Israeli attacks. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, called on Muslims on Saturday to stand by the people of Lebanon and the proud Hezbollah with whatever means they have and assist them in confronting the wicked regime of Israel. Khamenei, in a statement after the Israeli army said it had killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, said the fate of his region will be determined by the forces of resistance. According to him, the killing of these defenseless people in Lebanon once again revealed to everyone the ferocity of the rabid Zionist dog and proved the short-sightedness and stupid policy of the leaders of the usurping regime. Peace be upon the servants of God, he concluded. Meanwhile, the families of those taken hostage by Hamas militants from southern Israel almost a year ago on Saturday warned the United States that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was playing both sides after the killing of Hezbollah leader Syed Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon. Naama Weibag, whose cousin was taken hostage in Gaza and since killed, directed anger towards Netanyahu for directing focus away from securing a deal for hostages released towards Israel's northern border. He also criticized the Prime Minister's speech at the United Nations, in which he said he used beautiful words without mentioning any potential hostage deal. Weibag also directed a warning to key Israeli ally, the United States, saying Netanyahu was sides in his own personal interests. A handful of protesters gathered in Rome on Saturday in support of Palestine and Lebanon, where Israeli strikes killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. Hezbollah and Israel have been fighting in conflict in parallel with Israel's war against Palestinian group Hamas in Gaza since Hamas' attack on southern Israel last October 7th, a conflict that has sharply escalated in recent days. Hezbollah has said it would cease fire only when Israel's Gaza offensive ends. Hamas and other allies of Hezbollah issued statements mourning his death. Strikes continued on Beirut's southern suburbs throughout the early evenings on Saturday, sending large clouds of smoke over the city. Women marched through the streets of Mexico and Brazil on the Global Day of Action for access to safe and legal abortion in a region where the procedure is available legally and safely only in a handful of countries. In Mexico City, pro-abortion activists marched on Reforma Avenue with green handkerchiefs, the symbol of the discriminalization or decriminalization of abortion movement in Latin America, to demand safe and legal access to abortion. In the Brazilian city of Sao Paulo, women rallied on Paulista Avenue, asked for abortion to be treated as public policy. In Brazil, abortions are only allowed in specific circumstances: rape, fetal deformation, or health risk to the mother. Every year, thousands of women in Latin America die from unsafe abortions at a time when teenage pregnancies and sexual violence continue to increase in the region. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Friday said that the Friends of Peace platform sows seeds for peace and the global south should unite to fight a peaceful solution for the Ukraine crisis. Wang, also a member of the political bureau of Communist Party of China Central Committee, made the remarks when co-hosting a ministerial meeting of the newly launched Friends of Peace platform on the Ukraine crisis with Celso Amorim, a special advisor to the president of Brazil in New York. It said global South countries, including Brazil, China, South Africa, Egypt, Indonesia, and Turkey, have jointly launched the Friends of Peace platform on the Ukraine crisis as more and more countries have realized that the Ukraine crisis should not escalate out of control and the international community cannot slide into division and confrontation. Meanwhile, Spanish Coast Guard scored the sea on Saturday, searching for 48 migrants missing at sea after their boat capsized near the Spanish island of El Hierro, killing at least 9 people. The emergency services were able to rescue 27 of 84 migrants who were trying to reach its Spanish coast. Spanish authorities said the migrants were from Mali, Mauritania, and Senegal. 3 other boats reached the Conakry Islands during the night, carrying 208 migrants. Calm seas and gentle winds associated with late summer in the Atlantic Ocean off Western Africa has prompted a renewed surge of migrants. Top seed Arina Sabalenka overcame a sluggish start to defeat Thai qualifier Mananchaya Sawankaev 6-4, 6-1 and move into the third round of the China Open in Beijing on Saturday. The numbers of the match show Sawankai, who made her tour debut last week at the Thailand Open, was unable to hang with the world number 2. Sabalenka won 75% of her points on first serve, compared to just 48% for her opponent. Sabalenka won 52% of return points. She has a record of success in China, winning 4 of her 16 career tour singles titles in the country. She has yet to win the Beijing tournament, however. Seeking to interrupt the vibe in the next round will be American Ashleen Kruger, a 6-1-7-6-4 winner over Lulu Sun of New Zealand. Home country favorite Zheng Qinwang, who won the Olympic gold medal, played a quick match, defeating Kamila Rakimova of Russia 6-1-6-1 in front of a cheering crowd of about 15,000. She will aim to maintain the momentum in the third round against Nadia Podoroska of Argentina, who defeated Ukraine's Diana Yastremska 6-5, 6-7, 4, 6-2. Atletico Madrid can be inspired by their past wins against Real Madrid, and Diego Simeone remains confident his side can maintain their high motivation despite limited rest time ahead of Sunday's home derby. Atletico was the only team to beat Madrid last season, while the win over their rivals in the league did little to disrupt Real's rare victory ended Real's hopes of a historic. Real Madrid players head into the derby with an advantage, having rested extra 2 days. Atletico played their midweek match on Thursday at Celta Vigo, while Ancelotti's men hosted Deportivo Alaves on Tuesday. The Argentine coach said it was hard to manage with the lack of preparation time, having said earlier that he is working on easing player workloads during training. Atletico only home defeats this year came in February Copa del Rey semi-final against Bilbao, who went on to win that title. Simeone said Madrid boss Carlo Ancelotti has plenty of firepower despite missing Kylian Mbappe to injury, pointing to the likes of playmaker Jude Bellingham, but he added that Real would miss the influence of Toni Kroos, who retired last season. World number one, Jannik Sinner, came from behind to beat Roman Safionin 3-6, 3-6, 6-2, 6-3 on Saturday, September 28th, to reach the quarterfinals of the China Open. The two times Grand Slam champion also drops the opening set in his last match in Beijing, but showed the same fighting qualities to prevail in 2 hours and 22 minutes. Sinner walked out for the match following the news that the World Anti-Doping Agency had appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport against an independent tribunal's decision in August to clear him of wrongdoing after the failed drug tests. WADA said on Saturday the tribunal's finding of no fault or negligence on Sinner's part was incorrect under the applicable rules, and it would seek a period of ineligibility of between 1 and 2 years for the Australian Open and US Open champion. Sinner has maintained his innocence, saying the amounts of clostebol found in his system was less than a billionth of a gram. He fired his trainer and physio in August. WADA said on Saturday the tribunal's finding of no fault or negligence on Sinner's part was incorrect under the applicable rules. And that's the news this hour. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you on top of the hour for the new day. I'm Charles Pius. Good morning. Guy, why you do like now? What they'll be up with new day. Just an interesting headlines across the world and some interesting discussion that we'll be having on their show today. And by the way, for all those who don't know, Anambra has had their local government elections for the first time in 11 years, and it took the Supreme Court to actually give priority to local governments for that to happen. So I think we should be able to appreciate the Supreme Court more for some of these things. But beyond that, I also understand that the UNGA is happening. UNGA 79 is happening. I should have been there, but I couldn't make it because of other engagements. But some of the things I have noticed about the African continent, some of the things that they go there to do every year, I don't know whether it's a good thing. Asking world leaders for some sort of debt relief. I don't know what you guys think about that. Debt relief on what exactly? Debt relief on what? Like you borrow monies and you're not able to use it for what it's supposed to be used for, and then at the end of the day you go back and start begging for debt relief. I mean, this is business. And to some extent, nobody really wants to give you free money. There's no free money anywhere, even in Freetown. I think Africa should be able to elevate themselves into producing and contributing, not always taking. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. So I just hope and wish that after now, Africa should be able to look inwards and start doing things that will be beneficial for the continent, and of course, what they can give more than what they can take. Thank you. See you top of the hour. My girl, Chiki is here. Joshua will be in a moment. Take care, guys. See you later.
Howdy. Good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Okay.
How do you do?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Looking good. Looking good every time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Looking even better. Anna.
Me.
Don't believe me.
Yeah, I
Yes.
believe you.
Yes.
I
If
believe
you
you.
type it out, big deal.
Okay.
I bet who the check who? Who the check who?
Huh?
Who is trying to check who?
My man, I love you.
This is Chigi.
Yeah, what's up?
Again. You and
She'll be up in a moment, so stick around. So get on to Signature Television on YouTube and catch her. She is so amazing. I love her more on TV. I don't know why. I love her more on TV than in person.
That's not
I
true.
actually
You know
feel
it. That's
kiss
not
her on
true. and You
TV.
know it's not true.
I don't
My
know.
fans, my hands are
I
clean.
don't know.
Let's get started. Charles, don't leave. Hello, yeah.
Yes, I should take that.
You say you go to hospital now.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure.
That's for hospital.
So you can't do anything. Hey, you know the rule now. Charles will do party for us. Don't stand there.
What's up with that?
Party do.
Bye. Says who?
Says me.
Nobody
Nobody did this.
Okay, come and sit down, my friend. I'm gonna be like that. We should take
For you, I know the perfect.
Nobody gets it. Just be close to the gate. Which we actually for me to. Which be for me.
The gap is there, right?
No bad.
Most like, I check to the meeting, then guess go do it. I guess, check with this.